Few artists in American music history have created a legacy as enduring and influential as that of Willie Nelson. With his unmistakable voice, thoughtful songwriting, and calm stage presence, Nelson became one of the defining figures of country music while also shaping the broader sound of American roots music. Born in Abbott, Texas, in 1933 during a time of economic hardship in rural America, Nelson was raised by his grandparents, who introduced him to gospel songs and traditional country melodies at a very young age. Music quickly became a central part of his life. By the age of 6, he had already begun learning the guitar, and before long he was writing songs that reflected the emotional depth and storytelling traditions of classic country music. His early years were not easy, and he worked a variety of jobs while performing wherever opportunities appeared, slowly developing the songwriting ability that would later define his career. During the 1960s, he moved to Nashville, where he initially found success not as a performer but as a songwriter, creating songs that would later become classics. One of his most famous compositions, Crazy, became a signature hit for Patsy Cline, establishing Nelson as one of the most gifted writers in country music. Yet despite this success, he struggled to fit comfortably within the polished Nashville system of the time. Determined to follow his own creative instincts, Nelson eventually returned to Texas, where he became a central figure in the emerging outlaw country movement, a style that emphasized artistic freedom and authenticity. Albums such as Red-Headed Stranger and Stardust helped transform him from a respected songwriter into a global music icon. His unique vocal phrasing, gentle guitar tone played on his famous instrument trigger, and reflective lyrics resonated with audiences across generations. Over the decades, he collaborated with countless artists, crossed musical genres, and received recognition from organizations including the Grammy Awards and the Country Music Hall of Fame. Yet behind the remarkable career that spanned more than half a century, Nelson's life has also included deeply emotional chapters that remind listeners of the human experiences behind legendary success. Like many artists who spend decades touring and creating music, he has faced personal losses, health challenges, and the inevitable changes that come with age. In recent years, as Nelson reached his 90s, fans began reflecting more closely on the fragility of time and the profound significance of his contributions to music. Occasional health concerns led to adjustments in touring schedules, reminding audiences that even the most resilient performers must eventually slow down. For listeners who had grown up with his music, these moments created a sense of bittersweet realization that the era he helped define cannot last forever. Yet even in his later years, Nelson continued performing with remarkable dedication, appearing on stage with the same relaxed presence and quiet humor that had characterized his performances for decades. His ability to connect with audiences never seemed to fade, and each appearance carried the feeling of witnessing a living chapter of music history. Beyond his musical achievements, Nelson also became known for his advocacy for farmers, environmental causes, and humanitarian efforts, demonstrating that his influence extended far beyond the recording studio. Now, as he moves through his 90s, the emotional weight of his story lies not in a single tragic event but in the gentle awareness that time inevitably changes every life, even those that seem larger than legend. For millions of fans, Willie Nelson represents an era of honesty in songwriting and authenticity in performance, and the thought of a world without his steady voice can feel deeply moving. Yet his legacy remains firmly embedded in American culture through the songs he wrote, the artists he inspired, and the audiences who continue to find comfort in his music. The story of Willie Nelson is therefore not only about sadness or aging but also about endurance, creativity, and the quiet beauty of a life devoted to music. Long after the final notes fade from the stage, his songs will continue to echo through radios, concert halls, and memories, reminding listeners that the most powerful voices in music never truly disappear, they simply become part of history.